All right, all right, all right. Hello, hello. A bit of a late start, so we're gonna just jump right into it here. Um, Hello and welcome in, salutations. And to that point, I'm gonna get the roll call, and we're just gonna freaking do the freaking thing that do the thing. We're gonna do the thing, freaking thing. That's right, the thing. All right, with that, sit tight. I'm gonna get rolling. Meow. All
I
right.
love how you said a honk meant asking if Bryce was here.
Well, it's very
I
rare
was
we
like,
see Scooter or hear him, so. And there's probably still a bit of an echo in people's ears after last session.
yeah, I can still not entirely hear out of one ear, so it was a mighty, mighty goose call. The honkening.
So, who wants to do some recapping, if any?
Well, we finally made our way out of the first hallway, back through the room, and back into the
Super muffled.
village where we threw a little bit of
Honking sounds funny.
Why
Come
did
on.
we hear the ocean?
Oh, that was probably Cat. The cat was sitting against my phone. Yeah,
It just
sorry.
it was such that rhythmic, staticky sound that you when you hold a shell up to your ears. I'm like, why are we hearing the ocean?
I am the ocean. Anyway, so yeah, we took a little bit of time bumbling around town to get our bearings, and then eventually found our way back to the Stinky House, where we were able to make. Well, I was able to unlock the front door, but we couldn't get it open. So to figure out why, went around to the window where we peeked in and saw a mass murder scene of basically just chipped mole people, big pile of it everywhere, and something invisible like kind of climbing around on stuff. So I think was it Vimac? Did you do the light in there? Fairy lights?
Fairy fire, yeah.
Fairy fire? Which revealed that there were four little imps flying around in there. And we were able to determine that they weren't there to attack us, but they were there guarding the grossness for their boss, which was Big Spiky Tail, who we had fought down in the skull or the bone room. Um, but other than that, like we weren't able to really find out any other reasoning as to like what was going on. Just that they were there guarding that stuff for their boss, and their boss was the one who had tore everything up. So that guy was definitely at least one of the causes for all the awfulness going on to these poor mole people. And after some debate about whether or not there was a potential for a contract, like a deal, or whether we should let them go back to the hells or take them out to keep any info and intel from getting back. A couple of us, well, what was it? Kaito, you
Oh,
originally.
Kaido got tired of you guys bickering and just shut the
And so I thought, okay, well, if that's the way the party's going, I joined in. But I was basically unable to do anything, and we ended up only killing what, like one of them or two of them,
two of them
and
died.
then one, and then yeah, and then the other three were like, okay, oh my god, we're out of here, and we're very mad. And then Kaito, do you remember what they said as they were leaving?
I hope the big fleshy thing gets you. I think is what the word was.
Yes. So that
Or eat
is,
you, I think he said.
yeah. So some foreshadowing of another big bad that was not the bone guy. That who knows if they're up where we are or what, but yeah. So I think after they took off, we ended up trying to see where if there were other mole people that hadn't been murdered horrifically. And thanks to the honking of Scooter, the mega goose, we were able to alert the remaining mole people to come to where we were. And they came up. And we're talking about how Franklin was, I think, off on a project, right? Or like on some type of expedition.
He was looking for more survivors down some tunnel.
Yes. And we were going to go see if we could figure out where that would be. And I think that's where we ended.
We were taking a short rest because as much as we wanted to rush and get to him,
Yeah.
we had to lick wounds, aka Kaido was almost dead.
Wait, did we? But oh yeah, we were going to do a short rest because we didn't want to wait too long. And
Yeah,
do
we
a
did roll hit
yes,
dice.
short rest. Yes, that's right. Just to perk us up a little bit before we go searching for Franklin and hopefully more survivors, and keeping an eye out for some big fleshy thing that might try and eat us.
Right.
Which makes me wonder if the bone guy, the spiky tail guy, was pureeing all the body parts in preparation to give them to the fleshy thing. Because even though there were bones in the pile, that thing only seemed to be interested in the bones.
I think they're being turned into a fleshy thing, and I don't think that was the
Maybe.
big boss. I don't think like it. We came to that conclusion because Kaido kind of described it to him, and they said, "Yeah, big boss does," but it's like, what are the odds we got the big boss before we found the minions? I have such doubts.
Well, we would have found the minions first if we would have gone in that room, that house, before going down into the bone room.
Yeah, I
We
still have
came
my doubts that
across-
actually was the boss. That's why Kaido, when he said to the little imps that I think we just killed your boss, he didn't actually say we killed your boss, and then they got really excited. It's like, maybe it was. I don't know.
Well, they did say that he was the boss, and maybe he was a big boss, but yeah, I'm with you. I don't think it was the ultimate boss of this issue here. Well, was there anything else important that we forgot? That I forgot anyway.
You don't remember becoming a god and getting all the HP in the world? You forgot that part.
But then with cubed rules, that would mean that our very next enemy is also going to be that powerful.
You were the
Battle of the
gods
gods.
of not being able to climb up on the roof.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we were supremely bad at getting on the roof. And
Who is this we? Who is this we?
you know, we as the team, right? Especially
Uh-huh.
the Asmar who forgot she has literal freaking wings.
Yeah, there's no we involved in that, the sister.
Yeah.
Fucking need
And that
poor
was- yeah.
Vimac in the face.
Oh yeah, Vimac tried to help me climb onto the roof.
Yeah, and then he rolled
it
badly
just ended
too.
up not being a pretty situation.
No, it just got worse.
Yeah.
Kaido was
But at
trying not to laugh the whole time, but he managed.
Mm-hmm. By the end of it, at least I was able to fly up, and that's when I saw the honking was effective, and I saw the mole people coming our way, and was able to wave them over to where we were. That's right. Oh man, good times. All right.
I have a weird definition of good times.
Hey, we're all still alive, right?
At least on the outside.
No. Well, hopefully today's session will bring you life.
Yeah, about that. So anyway,
that's
what are you
really
guys
high
doing?
shoes. They're huge shoes
Dun,
for
dun.
Cube to fill. I don't think we're gonna have that.
Yeah. Although speaking of our shoes, I think we should based on the options, well, I'd like to I'll turn to Price and ask him, hey, can you ask the mole people maybe what options of tunnels there were? Like where did Franklin potentially go, that maybe we can narrow it down?
OOC, did we send them away yet?
Yep. Because I remember there was a little discussion at the end, like, wait a minute, we probably should have.
Well, I thought we had, before we rested, I thought we had asked them about that. We had asked them, like, kind of generally, like, where that was.
Yeah, and they just point in
where
the
they-
general direction as if assuming you know where that is.
Okay. Well, okay. So fair enough. Then never mind. Well, I mean, no time like the present. Let's gather our stuff and at least start heading the way that they pointed. I mean, if we go that general direction, we're underground. There's got to be walls guiding us into the only direction of tunnels, right? I mean, it's not like this area of the cave could go on forever.
Say nothing. All right. So consensus is go in general direction that Molman pointed.
Yep.
Unless someone's got a better idea.
Were they all? So the ones that we were trying to gather were the ones that were out looking around, and they were all kind of like spread out in different directions, right?
I mean, what they were doing, you're not sure. You just know that they all
True.
convened on your signal.
I guess. Would when Altani was flying up and seeing them all converging, did it seem like they were all coming from, or majority of them were coming from the same direction, or were they kind of like all different directions? I guess.
All different directions.
Okay. Yeah, I would think that we're gonna, if we all got our short rests. I don't know
Mhm.
if we did or not. Then yeah, I would think we'd be moving on.
Yeah, perfect. Well,
Okay.
do we have a map to reference for all of this, or should we
Nope.
just kind of describe? Okay.
Because
well,
it is a
the-
very, very big. It's very hard to place completely uneven mole people city.
No, totally fine.
But
So,
also, I'm trying not to make maps too crazy large because limited server space.
that's fair. That's all right. Theater of the mind time. We got this. Well, I
Yep.
imagine that as we're walking along, that we basically continue until we reach, or do we reach the edge of like the homes area, or do we just reach kind of a wall or tunnels? Like, could you give us a little description of kind of the next stage of what we would encounter, once the I guess the edge of houses
Mhm.
kind of ends?
Yeah,
Thank you.
like basically, I just need to know what the consensus was so I know what to describe to you. So, heading towards the direction that the mole people had pointed. Eventually, you do come to the edge of their definitely not organized housing structures. Like I said, their roads aren't even like straight. They're the kind of roads that would make a city builder just like gag, right? Some of the houses are pointed at odd angles. Some of them are like the roads aren't straight. They're just like some are crooked, some are just jagged. They go straight and then like cut an edge, and then there's another block. It's like cul-de-sacs everywhere. It's all sorts of
So
not
kind of like if when MC Escher was still working in 2D kind of thing.
probably Picasso.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But you do eventually come to the edge of their what almost feels like a makeshift hovel, really. Though you know they probably have lived here for a good bit. And upon the edge, there's a pretty sizable, well, within I guess your vision range, because even with that, you know, you come to the edge of the houses and then like darkness. But it does seem like there might be. You haven't high enough passive perception, so you would definitely see like a pretty well-worn path, like flattened dirt, disturbed like dirt. Seems pretty flattened, lots of footprints. It's pretty obvious
Okay.
that this is a pretty well-traveled quote-unquote road.
We'll head down it.
Alrighty. And pretty much you're just venturing into the darkness because, you know, cave be big and dark vision only go out so far.
And we still have a torch going though, right? So we can at least see the ground.
I
in
kind
addition
of
to
would have relit it just for the sake of having better vision around them.
Okay.
Yeah, so it gets to a point where you leave when you finally leave the edge of the mole people's town village. You're just in darkness. The only guide that you have to where you're going is following this beaten path, this worn and beaten path. Because, like I said, you know, it's a very large cave, no light, except for what you were able to see and generate through your torchlight. And eventually, you start to notice that the path starts getting a little bit less and less traveled. You know, probably that they've gone in this direction pretty often, but this far, because at this point you've been walking for a good 10-15 minutes, and no sign, no sound, no sign of mole people, no drag marks, just nothing out of the ordinary. Is just a path that you're following in the darkness. And you know, you probably would maybe hear like a bat squeaking somewhere off in the darkness, or like a rodent chirping, or you know, some pretty typical cave denizens.
Cave dweller shenanigans.
But eventually, continuing down this path, you see the edge. You start seeing some rock formations, i.e., a wall, or at least it looks like the cave is either starting to slink down rapidly, or you know, but basically it seems like you're coming to a point where you're coming to a wall of some kind, or the cave is just getting smaller. Which either way is still better than open air.
Where does the Packed Earth path lead to from here?
At least to this area.
I mean, does it lead directly to a closed wall, or does it continue? Like,
Well, you
is
come
there
to
anything blocking it?
well, you come to a cave opening. So
Oh,
that's what I was
sorry.
getting at.
I thought you said wall. Okay.
Well, no, I'm saying like you can start seeing a wall on the edge of like your dark visions and stuff. So like imagine you're in a big empty room and there's no light, but you have just enough light to see like a ceiling, because it kind of seems like the ceiling's either sloping down or, you know, what have you.
Sounds good.
A narrower passage than what you're in.
Okay.
And once you get to this point, the beaten path is and you're in front of an opening now, and it looks like the footsteps branch in 3 directions, you know, forward, left, and right, but the left and right are basically following a wall, following the cave wall. So imagine you're standing in front of an opening, like a cave opening, and footsteps are going to the left and to the right, following the wall and forward into this cave.
Okay.
I guess this deeper cave, because you're already in the double cave. I don't know.
Caveception?
Yeah, new cave section.
Well, I was thinking caveception, like Inception, but caves. Caves in caves in caves.
But
either
if
way,
if there's no door, wouldn't it just be one big cave with just a different section?
or is it a cavelet because it's smaller and off the main cave?
Cave offshoot. There we
It's
go.
a caveling. It's a caveling.
Caveling. Yes, I like it. Well, I'm gonna look to either side, kind of look at the party. And I'm gonna point to the caveling opening. You know, we could continue around the edge of this, but it seems like more than likely, if they're following the tunnels, they probably went into this new entrance. So
Then
that's where I'm
let's go.
proposing we go. All right. Then I'll keep walking into the cave, but as I approach it, I'm going to approach it very carefully and look around, listen, see if anything seems awry.
Do I have a cave backdrop?
I might be a little distracted by the bats.
Oh, I need a cave backdrop. Didn't think about that. Interesting. So with the 14, yeah, you just hear bats, rodents. Trying to think of other cave dwelling creatures that might be making noise.
Is this new cave area, is it like a tunnel or is it start to open up into a new cavern area? Like, can we see the ceiling of this new area?
It's tunnel.
Okay. Well, keep continuing down, but being, wary. Keeping an
Okay.
eye on like the footprints and stuff that we see.
And Altani's leading.
Yep.
Okie dokie. So, leading the group. So, what's the marching order?
How wide is the tunnel?
Oh, it's easily 20 feet.
Well,
Kind
then
of would
a
probably
big
be like a step or two behind Altani, like I'm not have to run her over because he is having
Let's
the easy
see.
way.
We're in a diamond formation.
nice.
Who's who's at the tips of the diamond then?
Well, diamond as in I think I'd be at the front, and then we have Kaido. Would you be in the far back because you're taller?
I am holding the torch that's holding his seat better, so I don't know if being
Yeah.
in the back would be the good idea. Probably middle-ish.
Well, because I mean, yeah, like maybe a diamond or triangle, right? So the Price and Vimac are off to either side, and then you're behind us by a little bit, which would still be. I mean, I'm thinking like enough to give us walking room, but not necessarily being like 10 feet apart.
Yeah, I need a cave backdrop.
So
I'll work on
close
that.
enough to be able to enjoy the light that you're carrying for us, but far enough to be not bumping into each other. Because my passive perception is pretty high, so me going a little bit ahead seems helpful.
Ooh, I do
I
have one.
have my familiar on my shoulder, and I'm using the ability of my bonus actions to see through his senses, which is night vision 120. So,
Nice.
or what dark vision.
And were you packed of the chain?
Yeah. I'm
And that's
both
the one that lets you. Hold on, let me check something.
back to the chain, but I'm also Gaze of Two Minds.
Connections in the duration while proceeding to the creature you benefit. Let's see. Because usually it's like if you're seeing through your familiar, then your senses are dulled because you're transferring your sort of consciousness to them. That's all I want to double check.
I think we went over this and it doesn't happen with the new one, especially with Gaze of Two Minds.
Cast spells. Let's see, and you cast spells as if you were in your space or the other creature's space. As long as within 60 feet. Choose an action willing. Yeah, that's right. Because the 2014 specifically stated you're blind and deaf, and that's right. The 24
Yeah.
omitted that ruling. Okay. So, yeah, so you're keeping an eye out, which, the vision is only going to get you so far in terms of the fact that the cave isn't a completely straight shot. So, they serpentine a lot and there's a lot of curves. And you're continuing forward. Yeah. And eventually it kind of sounds like every so often you might hear like dripping of like cave water somewhere, just like whoop, whoop. But you're not in an area that's conveying any large amounts of moisture. But maybe there's some cracks in the walls that you're hearing this through. It's very possible, like it's a cave. Water erosion can happen. But eventually, it opens up after many twists and turns. It opens up into a large, well, I guess technically a cavelet. The tunnel comes to an end and it opens up again into a large area that extends into darkness at this point.
And where does the trail continue to lead? Because I figure we might as well just keep following that.
So at this point, you probably have to do a survival because the trail has, at this point the trail has kind of gone cold.
I mean, so there's not like packed dirt.
Nope. Like at this after the walk through the cave area, it's just like it's just noticed the trail would have gotten colder and colder and less footprints, and you probably even start seeing small like rodent footprints everywhere. Just like this, that would be what would be disturbing. Just the cave denizens.
I would also think too that like if we're getting into an area that's more rocky than just dirt, that would make it a lot. You wouldn't see the tracks as easily either. Okay, well I'll try it. Ooh, hey, I'm paying attention.
So with the survival, a couple things really. So, you can also give me a nature check with that survival. So you definitely see some footprints that are intermingled and intertwined with the the surrounding environment. So like I said, like little cave rats and little critters. But you do see some footprints that seem like they're a little heavier set, but like, it's a lot more stone than dirt here. And you're not necessarily sure what kind of critters are roaming around here. But you're at it opens up. Oop, and I dropped my pen.
Awesome. Well, looking at the tracks, I'll use the direction of the footprint to give us the heading that we'll be going in from here. And I think at this point, are there any like rocks or anything kind of tumbly, like, or there wouldn't be any sticks or anything that we would see, right?
No,
It's
just
mostly
like loose stones and
rock
such.
crumble. Let's see. Do I have? Because I have an idea. I am going to take my short bow and holding one into my hand, I'm going to just kind of gently drag it behind us to just create a little bit of a line in the dust. not hard enough to hurt it or anything, just to give us kind of, if as we're walking, that we can kind of check back and periodically just to make sure we're like in line with where we decided to start. Because being a big open cave, if we have no other landmarks, I'm hoping that'll give us some kind of additional guidance to keep going in the direction that we saw the footprints. And then we'll keep on.
So, as you exit the cave entrance, let me double check your passive perception. Well, I mean, I'd imagine it's not, you're not passively perceiving. Like in a situation like this, you're probably actively perceiving. You're
Yeah,
being
definitely.
aware. So give me a perception. Actually, everybody can give me a perception check, because this is not
Okay.
necessarily pertaining to just the leader. Or I should say, who is in lead.
The lead duckling.
Which familiar were you using, V Mac? I can't find. I'm not seeing it on my list. Maybe I didn't move it. Thought I gave it to him though. Is it under?
Vimac, did you hear him?
Sorry, what? No.
Oh, which familiar were you using?
My imp.
Imp.
Still.
What'd you name it again? Because I thought I
Clem.
moved it to the right.
It always disappears on me.
Just like an
Let me
imp.
move.
Well, it is invisible, so it just kind of goes away.
That's okay. It's in there. Okay. Here, let me fix this. Let me fix Clem. Give me a sec. Let me try and fix Clem here. Because now it's kind of bothering me. Okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to go this. We're going to... well, feel free to do, interact with each other for a sec, as I'm trying to fix Clem. Because you guys have been walking for a good few minutes, so there would have been time to interact.
It may be
Okay.
How about
boring,
that
but
weather?
right? I mean, for my part, I probably would be staying mostly quiet because I'm listening really hard for any signs of any digging or like sounds that might lead us to, like Franklin or any other mole people that might be down this way, or potentially any dangers. So, yeah, I'll just be kind of looking around, like periodically checking the ground, seeing if I hear anything. Maybe checking out the occasional rock that's kind of
That's the old one.
sparkly.
I need the new Clem.
I think it might go with my low perception, but
Damn it!
Bryce probably noticed Altani was like dragging their bow just to kind of make a trail or have some markers. So wondering which one I should do. It'll probably be alternating between elementalism and prestidigitation.
That one's broken. That's why.
With elementalism, there's something called sculpt element, and so as we're walking, he'd probably see like little bits of dirt or something, like hardened dirt more than just mud. And in a small little 1 foot cube, there would be he would sculpt like a little trying to think of what it'd be like a little sculpture of a mole person, but just like 1 foot tall.
That's awesome.
And then maybe like 30 feet later, he'd use prestidigitation and you do magic mark, and so just like on one of the walls or something like that, he'd put an arrow facing the direction that we were going.
Nice. And I imagine that as we're walking, when I periodically turn back, and if I see a mole person statue, be like, "Oh, hey, wait, that wasn't there before. Did you guys see that? Why is there a statue?"
You'd probably be seeing him do it.
Oh, maybe.
But
Okay.
yeah,
If I didn't see him do it, I would definitely be like, "Oh my gosh, it's a clue." But if I've seen you do it, I'd probably be like, "Nice." Like nod.
Should have control owner. All right, do you see Clem in the list now, like properly?
Yeah. Let's see. Yes.
Okay. I think he somehow moved him up to a different folder. Okay. Semi-fixed Clem. Okay, so perceptions. Looks like Kaito. So, I guess it makes sense. Kaito's the one who has the torch, which is creating actual light, which can help with more fine details. Oh, let me check something. I want to see if they changed a rule I didn't think about until just now. Dark vision. Just how, if they changed dark vision and how darkness works. You can see in dim light with specified range as if it were bright. Let's see, if you have dark vision, you can see in dim light within a specified range as if it were bright light, and in darkness within the range as if it were dim light. So everything in here would be dim light, dimly lit for people with dark vision. Okay. Then what is dim light? What's the ruling on that? I wish they'd made this entry easier. Dark vision. Dim light. Okay, let's see. Dim light and air. Don't you love it when a rule is, here's what this thing does, and then in the subtext it's like, here's one of the things that pertains to the thing that you're trying to look up, and then it says, go look at this other thing that references the thing that you're trying to look up that is in reference to the main thing you're looking for, and then it's like, okay, then what? Okay, so basically it's okay. So dark vision, you see like black and white in dim light, and in darkness it's what's it called, light, let's see how they say it. So in dark vision there's dim light. Okay, so I go, okay, then what's dim light do? Just double check. Then it says in dim light, the area in dim light is lightly obscured. So now I gotta go and look at, okay, so what's lightly obscured? Okay, you have disadvantage on wisdom perception checks to see something in a lightly obscured space. Okay, why couldn't they just put that in the dark vision description? Instead of making me go up 3 flights of stairs to get the answer. D&D never change. Actually, please change. Okay. Solve that mystery. So basically, without the assistant, like outside of the torchlight range, it would be disadvantage on perception checks to see something in a lightly obscured space.
You're welcome.
Okay. So basically, dark vision's not completely representative of the name. It's like you're not just like, I see everything as if it were daylight. It's you see everything within your vision range of said dark vision, and everything outside of it, it's like shadowy. Okay. Thanks, PHB 2024. Anywho, the check I had you guys make wasn't in that whole situation. So with the 21 and in a very well lit area, thanks to the torchlight, which is good because I guess that makes torches still have value in the game. So with a 21, amidst the cave walls, you would have noticed like every so often little what are they called, like little pock holes, like little holes in the wall here and there, like yeah, like maybe a spot where like little lizards might retreat into, just like small critters, like probably rats run in there and skitter in and take refuge away from like the cave bats that might be swooping down and like eating them. But you also notice as you get further and further in, there's more of them, but not in the sense of like now suddenly this whole area looks like it's just covered in these. It's you maybe saw one or two like halfway in, and you see a lot more as you continue forward. But that's that's all what perception with net use. It's very easy to not pay attention to that when you're busy trying to find survivors in a town that was with a bunch of brutally murdered and mutilated bodies. You could probably easily miss that if you weren't paying attention. But Kaido is the only one that would notice that subtly. I'm gonna hydrate.
So could you say that again? Or Kaido, will you relay that to us?
I don't think he would really relay that they're just holes in cave walls. Unless he actually sees something in them, he's just gonna like, okay, that's interesting, but not really mention it.
That's fair.
All right, and following the tracks. So eventually, there would be something on the edge of your vision. Whoever has the furthest, which I think is Clem with 120.
Yeah.
There does appear to be some kind of stonework, like a hewn, the stone that you've been walking on has been very naturally formed, but on the very edge of Clem's vision, you start to see what looks like maybe some kind of a road or a path, but it's old, it's dusty, but it's a definite difference in the terrain you've been walking on, like an edge of something, but it's on the ground, so it's like road, maybe like the equivalent of like a really like low curve. stonework. Ow. So that would be Clem who would spot it first, because just primarily due to the range. So if you choose to stop or whatever, I don't know. Up to you.
I don't.
So within everybody else's range of vision, eventually you all see the same thing. The edge of a road, hewn stone.
Well, that's encouraging.
I was gonna say suspicious, but all right.
I mean, could be. We don't know who was here first, the mole people or somebody. And let's see. With my earlier survival check, would that have also included having any clue as to like what direction we were going? Like cardinal direction?
Oh, you have no sense of cardinal
Okay.
direction in the Underdark.
Because I was thinking, depending on how far we walked, how close are we getting to where the monastery might be? So I wonder if we've somehow reached an overlap, maybe, with the monastery.
You are uncertain because that survival check
Yeah.
was for tracking.
No, that's fine. I'm just saying that's kind of what's going through my head right now. Like, I wonder. Wasn't, in fact, she'll say to the group, weren't we also going to be on our way to some type of monastery? Could this be the outskirts of that? Because Altani doesn't know what you guys might know. Or not.
Yeah, Price just shrugs because they've never been there. And I guess as far as like what I was mentioning before, if we're still in more of a tunnel, so to speak,
Sorry. Yeah.
then he'd be like doing the small little sculptures on one side, like the left side, and then the markings would be all on the right side. So if we do come back through here, we know which direction we were going the first
Nice.
time.
Perfect.
I was thinking instead of just like putting arrows, because I don't want to lead something to us from behind us.
Right.
But yeah, so there'll be like a little mole structure on the left side of the tunnel every probably 50 feet, and then opposite of that, kind of staggered, there'll be almost just like a stamp, just like a silhouette stamp of a goose.
I like it. Very classy.
So so Price will be doing this, and he'll probably, we're all walking along. He's more or less kind of focusing on this and like counting his steps just to get the distance right, and so he's not really paying a whole lot of attention. He's more or less just sticking with the group, making sure he doesn't get, fall too behind or anything.
So are you guys continuing on to the stonework?
Yep. And I mean, I guess we don't hear anything at this point yet, right? Like,
Nope.
is it, and with the stonework, is it like another entrance, or is there a door or a gate?
None of the above.
is it just a wall? I mean, like when I don't know what form the stonework takes, and what would
road.
we be able to see?
Like I
Oh, the
said, like a
road.
low curve
Stonework
or a road.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely continue on.
All right. Do 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 do. So you continue on to the stonework. Nothing really catches. Nothing really interesting happens. And Kalia leading the pack. You can. Well, you're being aware, so give me a perception.
Okay. Hey. Somebody's paying attention.
So you would see a sizable hole in the cave above you, which the cave's only like 20 feet above you. So I guess technically from floor to top is 25 feet. But there's just a big hole in the ceiling as you're walking towards it.
And it with this hole, does it appear to have been like made, like man-made, or cave-in kind of hole? Like, are the edges smoothish or are they really rough?
They look rough.
Okay. Is there a pile of like material below the hole?
No.
Hmm. Interesting. And there's no kind of detritus or rubble in the general area of which we can see?
Completely clear. Well,
Okay. very
there's
sus-
not like rubble in destroyed cave, but you know, there's little rocks and stones and
expected rubble in a tunnel kind of thing.
correct.
Well, I'll point it out to the group. And now I'm sharing Kaido's suspicion because that's sus. And you said the ceiling's about like 25 feet up.
Yep. Well, from like from the bottom of your feet, so the floor to top is 25 feet, but that's all saying like it's 20 feet above you because you're, you know, on average.
Yeah. Right. That makes sense. Well, with perception, do I hear anything from that direction?
I mean, you've not from your distance. I
Okay.
mean,
And it's
so
about how far ahead of us, do you think?
this hole's probably a good one. Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, about 30 feet.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll turn to everybody. Well, you guys see that, right? But you notice that there's no rubble. That's definitely suspicious. So do we want to try and like go underneath it quickly, or should we kind of sneak up to it and see if we can see what's up there?
I need to fix this image. I don't like the lines on the side. I gotta fix that.
Have someone fly up there.
Well, until I have a long rest, I won't be able to fly again. But does
He
anyone
looks
else have?
specifically at Price.
Oh, yeah. If anybody else has flight, that could be helpful.
Can we? So I guess there's this hole, but does it look like to Altani's point? Should we quickly just run by? Does it look like this tunnel or cavern keeps going
Oh, it
past
does.
this?
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
So this isn't just like a dead end with a hole in the ceiling. Yeah, I guess if Kaito says you want to fly again and looks at Price, he'll just kind of nod and he'll just assume the position.
Oh, okay, that type of fly. Okay.
And
Let's send the note.
So, and I think this is only what the second time that Altani's seen, the gnome launch cannon, the
Yeah.
Kaido cannon gnome launcher.
You know what's funny
2000.
is Price is a druid, and I bet he's got some kind of form that flies, but this is our flight method, and I love it. Send the gnome.
I technically can't yet, but Scooter can fly. So I mean,
You just got sent with a 24.
yeah.
Don't worry, I'm ready to catch you.
So you're trying
Let's
to throw him 30. Let's see, hold on. So it's 30 feet away, and it's 20 feet up. So you're trying to fling him 50 feet.
Was a 24 to do that?
Well, I assume
You can always
so.
try.
I assume if we were gonna throw, if he was gonna like be thrown up just to see, we would probably like walk under it a little bit, and it would just be like Kaito just kind of throwing him straight up into this vertical tunnel.
Oh, so you're walking under it.
That's what I was kind of picturing. So I don't know what the rest of the group was thinking about that. I just pictured like Kaido does like granny shots, Price straight up.
Is that the plan?
Yes. I've sent the gnome with a 24.
Yeah.
No hesitation to just chuck him again.
All right. So something happens as you step under it. So that's what I was asking. Like you step in near.
Oh,
So
okay.
as you start getting near it to throw Price, order of operations. You know what? We'll say you get under it and then you throw Price.
I just sent him with a 24. He's
Yeah.
flying one way or the other.
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? So Price, you fly into this hole.
You want me to do a perception check?
Yes, but I'd probably say with disadvantage because you are flying. You are being tossed.
Sorry. Oh, this is not a toss. That's a 24. He was yeeted.
So with a 12, you don't really see anything. But you do feel, as you fly up into this hole, feels like something just grabs you.
So if Price doesn't immediately start coming back down, I'm gonna look at Kaito and I'm gonna look at Vimac. I'm gonna look back at the hole and say, like, does that normally happen? I didn't think he had the ability to levitate. Doesn't he normally come back down right away? And I'll step a little closer to look up into the hole.
There's definitely no Price in there because you realize that you would think, right, the hole would be straight. I mean, it's just as serpentine and curvy as any other pathway. So it goes up to a point and then curves.
Hmm.
Let me get an image for Price because he's the only one that can see it.
Well, I'm gonna be just kind of looking up there. Well, that's unexpected. How far up before the curve?
An extra like 5 feet or so.
We
Okay.
didn't lose him, did we?
Well, I don't see him. I'll cut my hands around my mouth and yell. I'll be like, Price! Price, are you up there? Are you okay, buddy?
I think he's up there because he's not down here.
I think he's up
I mean,
there.
that does stand to reason.
That's how gravity works. Anyone else want scent? I can try. That's the worst that'll happen. You have to disappear too, right? But somehow good with price, and that's a good thing, right?
Well, Vimac, can you send Clem up there?
Oh yeah.
Oh, or that.
See here.
That's
This.
another method.
This image.
And I will have Clem fly
Got it.
up. And he can get 60 feet away while I can still see through his eyes. So
Hold on, I gotta show Price something because he's the first one up there. Do.
Oh my god.
All right, and you send Clem up there.
Yeah.
Do. And I will give you a secret DM because only Clem would see this, and I guess technically Price. Do. That is what Clem sees, grabbing onto Price.
I don't see. Am I missing something?
The DM I sent you.
Oh.
Yeah, I did send you. Okay. So yeah.
Oh, okay. That's holding on to Bryce.
Yep.
Bryce has been abducted by some weird. How would it be the size of an imp or bigger?
I mean, it's big. It's a medium-sized creature.
Okay. By some creature, I have no idea what it is. And how high up are we?
So at this point, at least third. Let's see. So it's 20, 25. So about 25 to 30 feet up.
So he's being abducted. Guys, do you want me to attack it?
What is what's attacking him?
A creature with the big thing attached to it? Not quite sure.
Like the bone tail guy?
It's
I don't know what it is.
so difficult to describe.
Is it like the weird bone things that we saw before
Mm-mm.
in the wall?
No, not like a bone thing.
Is it
It's a fleshy
insectile?
creature
Okay, fleshy.
with it doesn't appear to have eyes, but has like a mouth and arms and legs.
Hmm.
And it seems to be attached to something.
Interesting.
Like a tether.
God.
Big, huge tether, I guess.
Like on a leash, or like a spider on thread?
Like a large gremlin with a tube attached to it.
Large
Tube folk. Okay, I think I've heard of these before. I don't remember anything on them, but I think they're dangerous. We should definitely try and get him down. What part of the
Wondering-
creature is holding Price? Oh, go for it.
I'm wondering if this is the big fleshy thing that those imps were talking about.
Could be.
I would suspect it would be the arms and the legs, right?
Yeah, I'm picturing, so from what you can see, I'm picturing, and the reason Price didn't holler back is he's probably grabbed from behind, and like one of the arms is probably wrapped around his
Covering.
face and
Okay.
covering his mouth.
Hmm. Well, might be able to blast it. Do you think I should attach the tether part or the beaky head thing?
Maybe the tether. Sounds like if it's
Okay.
that's its point of contact, that should at least get it to drop. Maybe drop Price in the meantime. Kaido, get ready to catch Price if you see him falling down.
Okay, so I will cast my Eldritch Blast at it from Clem's location.
All
Well,
right.
Clem is invisible.
So it would be with advantage, but attacking will break that invisibility.
No, it doesn't.
Does it in this one?
It's me. It's me casting from their location, not through them. It can cast a spell as if I were in their space.
All right.
So,
Cast from pack the chain familiar deliver spells. As
and
the
I was
imp
attacking
invisibility
the
doesn't break when
tube-looking
delivering
thing.
a spell that doesn't involve. Wait.
So Price can't see Clem, but would he
No.
see these Eldritch Blasts just flying at
Yeah.
him all of a sudden?
Yeah, you wouldn't even know. You probably wouldn't have known he was there
Let's see.
because he can't talk either. Wait, can he? No. The dragon can't talk.
Let's see. A warlock can have their pack the chain familiar deliver spells while invisible. As the imp's invisibility doesn't break when delivering a spell that doesn't involve an attack. Huh. Is that a pact of the chain thing that keeps them invisible?
Gaze of Two Minds.
Gain. Let me double check that. Duration until the
It's a new invocation.
and you cast spells as if you were. Oh, that's worded bad. And you can cast spells as if you were in your space or the other creature's space. It's you with 6 feet. Doesn't say anything about not breaking invisibility though. Anyway,
It's
go
not.
for it.
19 or
I'm just
19.
hand waving it for now. I'm just gonna end up going down a rabbit hole and wasting time.
Okay.
I could look into the finite minutia of the rules as intended later. So a 19, yeah, that would hit it. And it immediately lets go of Price and shoves him down the hole,
Okay.
right back out.
So heads up, he's on the way down. And then I will have Clem start to follow after him.
Ooh, okay. So you basically get Clem to like. So how far away are you trying to be of it? Because this hole is, you're not gonna be able to get a lot of distance.
No, he's just flying back down to us after.
Oh, back to you. Okay.
Yeah, just the objective was to get Price away from it and then come back. So
So did Price Price didn't get dropped back to the group. He got dropped like further down the tunnel.
Oh,
No,
down
so
the tunnel?
it basically shoved you out of the hole. I was gonna calculate some fall
Okay.
damage,
Well, but Kaido's there waiting to catch him.
which would be a check.
Okay.
See if you can catch
Mhm.
him, because
What am I wrong?
unlike a round spherical object that you would expect to drop in a certain way, this is Price.
Yeah,
is
How? What do I
and-
roll?
and
Not gonna-
Kaito is very skilled in oblong shapes ball sports from that athletic scholarship to school.
You know what? Let's just have it be
We'll
a
pretend.
let's have it be a dexterity. Let's see, trying to catch somebody in the moment. This is just straight up dex.
Straight dex, not acrobatics. Okay. Mm,
So I'd say with your reaction, because I think of like acrobatics as like, you're probably taking some effort and time to like balance yourself or to, throw something or, dang, I get them mixed up. But, I'd imagine it takes like effort to do something like an acrobatics or an athletics, whereas this is this is more reactionary. This is you just like snap moment, like, oh crap, how quickly can you catch a glass falling off a table in the form of a gnome? To which you were able to catch him, and he will reduce. Let's see, it's 5, 10, every 10 feet. I'd say you catch him. It's not a big deal. I was thinking you might take some fall damage, but with the 19, we'll say you negated any fall damage that he would have taken from his fall.
I've got you, Praise. Don't worry.
Oh, there's a big creepy worm thing up there.
Oh. Worm? Okay. What do we do about it?
I don't really want anything to do with it. But
Isn't
There's
this where the
no-
foreman went?
well, there's no sign of the mole people. And that thing snatched me up real quick. I'm wondering if they were headed this way and that thing may have grabbed them. Like Franklin, I don't know how many folk he was with. If it was just him, he's probably dead.
What do we do now?
Do we all want to try and go up there and somehow take that thing out? Or do we want to continue on and see if there's anybody ahead?
Well, we could definitely keep looking. I don't know. That thing's connected to something. I don't know if that was like an arm or a mouth. But I didn't see where it ended. Maybe we could get it to try and come back out. Kaito could pin it to the floor with his axe.
I could give that a solid
sounds-
attempt. Sure.
That sounds promising.
Nothing could go wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
I love it when you say those words. It'll be fine.
So I
Ongoing
guess we're all kind of still just standing underneath this thing. Price might like hold his hands out and like have us all spread out just a little bit. And then let's see. I don't know. He'll probably just like whistle, almost like calling an animal or something. Kind of have his arms up and out, like, "Come get me."
Nothing happens.
Um,
Well, we have rope. What if we toss Bryce back up there with the rope and then maybe tie it to the creature? Or do we have anybody have a grappling hook?
I don't know about a grappling hook. If I got the kid, I think I should have some fighting.
No grappling hook.
I'm wondering if we try and climb up there.
Uh, I don't know. I don't.
I don't really have a lot of options as far as spells.
Um, but yeah, it's not doing anything. Sorry, were you asking? There and ask. You're looking up spells.
I was looking in. I was just saying I don't know what I could do. I was looking through spells. That's why I was taking a sec.
Goes my go. Well, while he tries to figure that out, what's everybody else right now? You guys are just standing over under this open hole, like expecting this creature to reemerge. Torches in some of your hands.
Well, I'm standing there with kind of my hand on my chin, thinking what we could do with this because I'm mumbling about like this was not covered in guild training. Definitely different from the hunts I've been on. I wonder. I'm just gonna. Well, I guess even if I blast something up there, it's not really gonna make a difference since it's psychic damage. Now I wish I would have saved my flight ability.
It looked like it could probably understand something, so it might have a brain if it has arms and can grab Price.
It may have a brain, but does it have comprehension?
Perplexed. But I mean, the cave does continue.
Well, do we want to try and come back to it and maybe see if, I mean, it didn't seem to bother us until we threw somebody up there. So we could just continue on and hopefully Franklin made it past.
That's true. Who knows? He might be aware of it and know how to avoid it.
One can hope.
He is the foreman.
And if this is a creature that commonly lives underground and burrows underground, you would think that he would have some idea about it. This being kind of their realm and all.
Yeah. I mean, that could have just been a natural reaction. Seeing something that looks like food walk into your home. Well, should we just keep moving?
Probably best. We can always come back.
Should we mark this as a dangerous spot?
Yeah, can you make one of your sculptures, Bryce? Maybe either on the wall or how far away can you do it? Maybe
Make
on
a
the edge of the
wagon.
hole? I was thinking more of skull and crossbones, but because the wagon, do you think I mean, are wagons inherently dangerous? You guys see me looking kind of confused because I would never have thought like why would you put a wagon here?
That way you know Price did it and not somebody else.
Oh, that's true. But are they gonna know what that means, that it's dangerous?
Could put a skull and crossbones on the wagon.
There we go.
Yeah, I'll cast elementalism a couple times and I'll just link it because it's a long text, but
You exert control over the air, creating one of
So,
the following. Back in
on
air, back in earth, fire, water, sculpt element.
yeah, so back in Earth, basically on the wall, kind of where we came from, there's just gonna be a word written that just says danger. And then right like underneath the hole, there will be a like a 1 by 1 foot skull. That's just sitting.
A stone
Hopefully-
skull
Yeah,
of
like,
an animal
hopefully
of
people will just-
or of a person.
avoid it. Like a humanoid skull.
Okay. Human stone skull, person, man, dude.
All right, well,
That's all we can do for now. Good work.
so I guess, yeah, are we just moving on?
Yep, moving on down the road.
Down, down, down. So, continuing down this pathway, and now hewn stone, making it much easier on your feet, as it is smoothed out. Granted, dusty, and yes, granted, there's still a lot of stone, but like little like loose rocks and stuff. But at least it's not like jagged rocks or, you know, just a bunch of stone that is unhewn. And eventually, this hallway breaks into three, kind of fork. Basically, a left or right, a left or right in the middle.
Is there anything distinguishing them separate from each other, or they all look like same hewn stone, just split into 3?
Same thing. It's like the path you're on just split into 3 routes.
Okay. And I guess there's no tracks or anything. Are there traces? Anyone's been around recently? Besides us?
Good question. Nothing blatantly obvious. Oh god, my note thing okay. Whew. Nope. Double clicking when notepad's bad. Eh.
Should I do survival or perception?
Perception.
Right. And just normal?
Yep. So with a 20, there appear to be disturbed soil to the left. And by soil, I mean just like these just disturbed like dust and dirt and stuff. There appears to be disturbed quote unquote soil down the straight one, so down the middle, and completely and utterly undisturbed to the right.
The right seems suspicious. I kind of want to go that way.
So I
Well,
was gonna
there's-
say, I always think right is, well, right because
Right is right.
right, but also kind of suspicious too. If I were going down these hallways and I didn't want someone to follow me, I would clean up my tracks.
But doesn't that just make it more obvious if it's the only path without them? I mean,
Yeah.
I'll follow you guys if you want to go down that one, but
But like if let's say you made a trail, and you weren't just like walking and cleaning up dirt. Like maybe you were dragging a body. You had to clean up after yourself. You're not gonna clean up the whole cave, but I don't know, maybe. We could go either way. They all might lead the same place too. Vimac, can you see down one here? Like, see if it leads to something before we make a choice?
Yeah, I can send. I'll send Clem down.
Down which
He
one?
can get left.
Okay, so left. Okay.
although
Eh.
if you send him down the right where there's no tracks visible from here, he could see if there's tracks further in.
Well, I'll
Huh?
send him. I was sending down the left one first. We can send down the other one too if wanted.
All right, so down the left. And how far are you sending them? Because eventually he's gonna
say-
break line of sight after about 20 feet, just due to how caves serpentine.
Yeah, I'll send him 30 feet to start.
He wouldn't see anything within 30 feet.
Okay. 50.
Nope.
And then I'll pull him back.
All right.
And so didn't see anything 50 feet down that way, and then I'll send him down the other route.
Which other?
The one with the tracks.
One with or without? Didn't hear which one.
The one with tracks.
With. Okay. So left and middle. Another
Yep.
50 feet?
Yep.
So that one at about the 45-foot range appears to be a cave-in.
Okay. Cave in down the middle. I'll have him come back.
I guess Clem would see this, but just for the distinction, is it the floor is kind of this hewn? Well, I guess better detailed question would be, is it the same sort of like muddy, like mud wall situation that we encountered before that we dug through, or is it like a rubble sort of stone?
It's
cave-in?
rubble. It's hard
Okay.
rock cave-in.
Cool.
That's a hard rock cave-in. All right. That's 2.
Send down the right.
50 feet?
50 feet. Yes.
Nada.
And then I will bring him back and tell him. So, cave in down the middle. Nothing registered 50 feet either direction. So I think it's still a coin toss for us.
At least within 50 feet.
Could
Well,
So
split up
what do
for
we
a certain amount of feet to check and then meet back here.
true, but what if, I mean, separately or together?
I mean, there's 4 of us. There's 2 paths, 2 one way, 2 the other. We check back in so much time. Because if he's in trouble down either of these paths, if we pick the wrong one, that could be the difference between life and death for this guy. There's already been enough maybes. We don't even know he's alive. So
Well, let's see. Let me look and see if I can still cast that telepathy. I think that used my psychic dice, though, which I'm out of, aren't I? Let me look.
Let's see. Rogue. Psychic.
Black screen of death.
Soul Knife. It's the psychic one again. In the new rules, did that change at all? Done it a couple times. Still trying to get this stuff registered and locked into my memory. Not Cunning Strike. Psychic Blade. Oh, burp. Oh, jeez.
I'm just getting a black screen of death. Anybody? Oh, there it is. There it goes. I was just a little tired.
One of the more creatures you can see. Yeah, wouldn't be able to see him. There go. Hero.
So I do have more psionic die. Okay. So who wants to come with me? I'd like to go. Well, I guess Kaito, did you want to go check out the right hand side? Right path? Because I think I can
either.
connect. Okay. I can connect with well, I guess all 3 of you because I can do 3. So I'll actually just connect with everybody. Let me roll one of my die. And let's see, that's what is that was it a D8 cubed? I have to roll it manually. The psionic energy die. Let's see.
Let's see. How many do you have left?
Well, one now. I had two. And it says then I need to roll one to figure out how many hours it'll last.
All right, so at your level, it's see, die size is a D8.
D8, perfect. Thank you. We can chat. Ooh, full 8 hours. Excellent. So we just have to remain within a mile of each other. So I guess maybe go for about what 15-minute walk. Trying to think what a mile would equate to. Or like I guess it's half a mile and well, we don't know where they're gonna separate, but maybe check in every 10 minutes. And if you can't hear us, come back. And maybe we venture as far as we can, and then if we lose connection, we make our way back. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
So I'll keep my mouth closed and just telepathically reach out to you guys, be like, can you hear me now? I assume we all can, but
Titus is gonna give you a look like you're right here still. But he's not gonna say or
No.
think anything about it.
but I'm gonna close my mouth. I'm not saying it out loud. I'm saying it from my mind.
Yeah, and he's just gonna give you a look. That's how he's gonna do it. Who's going with who's going with Kaido?
Well, let's see. Well, Kaido, do you want to come with me? And Vimac and Price can go down the left side.
Yep.
It's up to whoever.
All right. Well, then we'll start walking down, and
So who's left and who's right?
Kaido and Altani will be going to the right. Vimac and Price to the left.
Right. Okay, so Price and Altani. And then Kaito. Vimac. Okay. Committed to my
And
notes.
once we
for
walk
my-
far enough to get out of view of the entrance to the tunnel, I want to see if I notice anything. Hey,
So since this is happening simultaneously,
Mhm.
whoever's leading the other tunnel can also do a perception.
nice.
Do you have a dark vision, Price?
Yeah, Price does, but I think yours is better.
Okay. Well, I'll be sensing through here, so. No. I see nothing.
I mean, maybe the character might not know what would happen.
Could I-
If only the character knew, like, man, I got a feeling that what I'm looking for out of a 20, I feel like I'm at a 5. It's like, this is one of those funny
I
fourth Wally things.
Could I assist, or could Vimac assist since it's like his imp?
So typically you want to declare that before you make a roll, because then it's
Yeah.
like, I got a natural 1. Oh, by the way, can I,
Yeah, that's
No,
fair.
I was using his perception's better, and I'm using his senses. So
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, as far as declaring what you're
As far
going
as-
to do.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like as an aid action, because it would have given you advantage, but you already rolled, so.
oh, okay, yeah.
I didn't think about it until just now. So. Oh, Price will still be as we're going down this hallway, on the right side of the wall, like he's been doing. He's not making the statues anymore because I'm sure that I don't know how like wide these hallways are, tunnels. But on this right wall, probably every like 20 feet or so, he'll just be doing that same sort of like stamp. Just so if we do lose connection and the other group has to run back and come find us, they'll see these markings and maybe see at some point that they aren't there. They'll know something's up, maybe. That's the intent.
Who knows? So a good, 1 minute extends to like 2, and then 3 to 5, and then like these holes are very, well, not really interesting, pretty boring, honestly, aside from the stone that you're walking on. So we'll start with Altani. Team perception, team 25. Yee! Almost dropping keyboard off of my desk. So with a 25, Altani keeping an eye out, you can swear that every so often, just in your left ear, could it be the wind? No, that doesn't make sense. There's no airflow in here. Just like not inaudible, just like whispers in your left ear, and then you look that way and there's nothing there, and then there's like a whisper in your right ear and you look that way and there's nothing there.
Well, I'll turn to Kaido and be like, do you hear that? Whispering?
What? Do I also hear it?
Nope.
I hear